to be done as per Government of India pro forma. And what is the explanation of the role of examining doctor? What is our role there? You must first introduce yourself to a patient and get her confidence, and then you start why you want to examine her. And it's very important to tell her that your confidentiality will be preserved, and there's no need to talk about this incident in the corridors, in the lift, to your fellow colleagues. Whatever should be there, it should be between you and your patient, not among anybody else. Always obtain a written consent, undertake a physical examination, collect the samples, always write the date, time and the place of examination, and mark of two identification, preferably two, that you want exposed area, not the areas which are covered, so that she should not go and expose herself and say, this is my identification mark. So this is very important. Age estimation, whether it's dental or by the radiological, if need be, you can do that. Consent, once you take all the consent for the examination and for collection of samples, and then later on, once you fill up everything, even then you take the consent from her prior to the release to the investigating officer and the release of medical notes. If wish, you can use this photo for the teaching purposes. So what's there in the history? If a victim says, look, I don't want anything, she can refuse. She has a right to refuse for examination. She has a right to refuse for any kind of complaint to the police. It's her choice, but you need to take the consent from her that she refuses a particular legal case and she refused to get herself examined. But if she is there, it happens in our setup, they come to us and they want any prevention against sexually transmitted diseases or prevention against pregnancy. So it's this thing that we should provide what a patient wants, but you can write and keep that paper with you, a photostat copy that the patient has refused for an examination and refused for an emergency case. So few important medical history that you must ask from her: detailed medical history, what medication she is on, what she has taken recently, when was her last period, any surgeries done for her, when she had her last pre-assault consensual sex, and early use of condoms. That's very important. If the condom has been used and you take all the swabs and everything, there might not be any sperm. So it's a documentation of writing that is also very, very important. The use of any drugs or alcohol before the assault is also very important. Details of assault. It's a date and time, lack of consciousness, altered consciousness, number, characteristics of perpetrators, any non-genital pain, bleeding, injury, any genital pain, bleeding, any use of verbal or physical abuse, any whether it's for the oral, vaginal or anal, write down what's there. And post-assault activity, the way Dr. Redu was saying, whether she has changed her clothes, whether she has urinated, whether she has taken a shower, or she has brushed her teeth before coming in, or she has done any vaginal douching. All these can lead to the lack of evidence. So I think I don't know how to make this aware among the public. I don't know how to do that. But I think it's very, very important. Like if something happened to that, naturally that girl will go and take a shower and she's so frustrated, change her clothes and do it. But even if she comes with changed clothes, it's important to tell her if she has clothes there, one can go and collect the clothes from there. So these little things are very, very important that one should know before it happens. And as I already said, the victim has the right to decline all or a part of examination. So collection of clothing as an evidence is very, very important. If the victim is still wearing any clothing that was worn during the assault, it is imperative to collect that clothing. Place a clean bedsheet over there and put a paper which is provided in this kit and cover the girl and just tell her to remove her clothes, and there should be always one set of clothes available in the hospital emergency so that she can change into that later on, and each cloth should be wrapped into a different bag. And it should be handed over to the police, labeled, date, time, place, and labeled and put. And any wet clothes should be dried first, otherwise it will stick here and there and evidence is lost, and then should be wrapped and sent. It's not an easy thing. When I've gone through it, the things have changed over the last so many years, and it's very important to collect an evidence correctly. It's always very important to so that that can help her later on if she makes it a police case. The forensic examination, all vital signs needs to be checked. Has done a physical examination. This chart is available. One needs to write proper diagram so that nothing is missed. For you need an examination, the wood lamp is wherever there's a semen, the color becomes green and yellow. So you can pick up what you can't see with your naked eyes. Colposcope is a magnified microscope. I've already told you, if you can't see anything with your naked eyes, use this colposcope. It will pick up the minor injuries. And similarly, if you do a perspective examination, you can nicely see there and take the specimen. If there is a anal intercourse, then you have to do anoscopy. There's no need to anoscopy if the victim doesn't have an anal intercourse. So you need to know what you need to do at that time. So don't start doing 1, 2, 3, 4, everything that you need to do. It's very important to take a history, any history of scratching to the person, or the person has scratched her, then there is an epidermis which is under the nails, which you can either you cut the nails or with a finger you take out the scraping. That's very good evidence even for a DNA matching. And fingernails or any pubic hair, you comb hair, any hair which you can know can be matched. Even comb the hair, even those hair one can pick it up. So there are lots of things which needs to be done which can help in DNA matching. So all steps needs to be followed one by other. So cardinal rule is, if there are moist secretions, collect with a dry swab. If there are dry secretions, scrape them or take a moist swab and take it. But send it once all the swabs are dry. Areas to sample are mouth, perineum, anus, and any area which is highlighted by the Holz lamp and the colposcope. And any bite marks, one should do it. Persistence of sperm. It's very important that if the victim reports to us early, we can get a good evidence. If she has douche or she has brushed her teeth or she has taken a shower, many things can be, or she has presented to us late, then we can lose most of the evidence. As the sperm persists in vagina up to 7 days, anal canal rectum 3 days, mouth up to 2 days, usually 6 hours, cervix 7 to 10 days, skin and hair unknown but may persist even after the clinic. So this is the way we examine a lady. We take the swab from the perineum, we take the pubic hair combing, and whatever the site of injury we examine. Similarly, we do endoscope and do it. This is the speculum which he was talking about. There's no two-finger test. If we need to do it, this is a speculum. But there's no need to always to do a per vaginal examination if you do a speculum examination. Bite marks evidence, wherever is there is always have a photograph for it, and always say the site size and mark it on the nucleogram which is being given to you, and this will help as an evidence later on. And if there is a history of drug-facilitated sexual assault, if the patient has a loss of memory, she forgets something while talking to you, loss of consciousness after the or before that, extreme drowsy, or there is a abnormal loss of inhibition in her, or the suspicious is by the parents or by the guardian or by the friends, then one must collect the samples. If the assault is less than 96 years old, collect 100 cc of the urine in a specially designed urine container, and it should be packed separately for the evidence. If the assault is 10 hours old, we must take both the blood and the urine sample. Camera photo documentation is important, but never for the genital organs. And medical treatment for the assault victim, we are looking for the first aid, whatever we need to do at that time. 2, she should be prevented from the sexually transmitted diseases. 3, she should be prevented from the pregnancy. So we should do a blood test to rule out her pregnancy, and take a detailed menstrual health history. If need be, must give her emergency contraception pill, and she should be prevented from sexual diseases like gonorrhea, chlamydia, HIV, hepatitis B. If she is not being vaccinated for the hepatitis B, she can be given a vaccination there. And if the person is known hepatitis B, then you can give immunoglobulins as well as a vaccine. And if you have no status of the person for an HIV or anything, one must give a chemoprophylaxis for 1 month following the assault. Because whatever it is, you need to prevent from all these deadly diseases which you are not aware of. And if she, tell her, if she misses her period or the periods are delayed or there's any irregularity in the period, she should come back either to you or to any other near hospital where she is comfortable, and she's allowed to even undergo a medical termination of pregnancy as per law if she wishes to. And for her case, if needs to be, if she has done an MSc case, then one needs to arrange the samples for the DNA and everything with the help of police. All the samples should be sealed, labelled, and refrigerated for urine and blood bottles, and they have to be kept in a safe custody. Records to be kept in safe custody. Medical records when released, name of the inspector should be written. Patients are informed, time, place, and follow. Thank you.
Movement when women and girls try to access the medical system. तो सवाल जवाब के जाने से पहले मैं महिला आंदोलन ने इतने सालों से जो काम किया है औरतों के साथ, लड़कियों के साथ, जिनके साथ यौनिक हिंसा हुई है और क्या अनुभव हमारे रहे हैं, मैं स्पेसिफिक केसेस के बारे में बात नहीं कर रही है, यहाँ पे नहीं करना चाहती, पर ज्यादातर उन मुद्दों को उठाना चाहती हूँ जहाँ पे दिक्कतें होती हैं। बहुत सारी चीजें जो दोनों डॉक्टर्स ने बात किया है। सबसे पहली बात ये है, अगर हम इसकी ये पूरा रेप या किसी भी तरह के सेक्सुअल असॉल्ट से लेके जब तक ट्रीटमेंट मिलता है, लुक एट द जर्नी ऑफ द यंग वुमन। सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू ट्राई टू डू इज जस्ट ट्राई एंड ट्रेस what happens with a young woman without talking about with women, without talking about specific cases, but just raising the issues that happen with women who have been assaulted, who have been sexually assaulted. Of course, the first basic issue is jurisdiction, which is not only the police. It's not just the police who's fighting. In the case of Jyoti, it's been said very clearly the police was fighting over jurisdiction. पर सिर्फ ज्योति के केस में सिर्फ पुलिस ही नहीं थी, जहाँ पे वहाँ पूरी जो बातचीत जो इन अ वे लड़ाई ही चल रही थी कि कहाँ पे जाएं, किसकी जुरिस्डिक्शन पे वो आती है वगैरह। पर बात ये भी था कि उन लोगों ने, पुलिस ने फाइनली जब उसके जो दोस्त, उस लड़की का दोस्त जो साथ में था, एंड जस्ट टू रिमाइंड एवरीबडी, शी वॉज नॉट द ओनली वन हु वॉज नेकेड ऑन द रोड. He was also naked. He was also thrown out of the bus. He was also lying there. And दोनों ठंड में रहे, बिना कपड़े के दोनों थे वहां पे, लड़का और उसके लड़की और उसका जो दोस्त जो था. So वहां पे जुरिस्डिक्शन पे पुलिस की बात नहीं थी, पर इनको जब उठा के ले गए थे पुलिस ने, तो प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स ने मना कर दिया. That's the first thing I would like to bring up, is the private hospital which was close to the site of the violence that happened. They refused to accept her into the hospital. So now it is very clearly designated, it's been put down in the law, and hopefully there's more communication about it, so people should know. And I think I would like to thank her
to the private hospital.
We'll talk about that. But yes, this is because this is I'm talking from, and that's I'm saying I'm talking from our point of view, from the